hope back. And also, again, as you exactly say, the money itself blocks a lot of the other great reform proposals that people have got out there. And suddenly the door is open to all kinds of reforms.
Yeah.
And, things look so dark now, but I tell you, people shouldn't forget that, it's government by the people that defines us.
Yeah.
That's true. This is true of no other country on earth. And we are, so often in our past, we have been the finest democracy on earth, and we've been the yardstick against which all other governments on earth have been measured and found wanting. And I have every confidence we will be that country again. And I think it can happen very quickly once we just get the momentum back.
I think you're right. I think things can change very quickly, and we're going to be surprised once it starts to. And I think this is a very important pathway to the point that we're trying to get to. Dan, remind us again, if we could, where we can find out more about what you're doing and how folks can help, whether financially or otherwise.
Good. So thank you, Caleb. So let me just state the URL twice because it's long, unfortunately. It's savedemocracyinamerica.org, savedemocracyinamerica.org. Although if you just Google Dan McMillan, money in politics, whatever, you'll get there. And I used to have a donate button on my website, but I took it off because I can't afford to fund our efforts out of my own pocket at the time being. And there's something much more important that everyone in our audience can give us, and that's validation. The biggest obstacle we face is just getting the word out and overcoming the feelings of pessimism, disillusionment, hopelessness that so many Americans feel. And if you go to our website, and maybe if you can listen to one of my interviews, or we have some informational videos, and then share the website, one of my interviews or videos with, on your social media accounts, with your friends, neighbors, coworkers, anyone you know. Just talk to people that you've heard this interview, you think this is kind of a cool idea. The thing is, I go on TV and radio, I speak in person, I make my best case, but the people in the audience don't know me from Adam. But people who know you, trust you, respect you, our message is 100 times more powerful with them coming from you than it will ever be coming from me. So don't think you can't move the ball down the field, because ultimately I think it's just a question of getting enough Americans talking about this so that people start thinking this is not a pipe dream. It can happen. We're not beat. We are moving forward. And I think at some point we're going to get to a tipping point. It'll snowball and we'll get there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I say to every one of you. If you were willing to donate, that's lovely. But frankly, you can have far greater impact, not with money, but just by putting your seal of approval on our effort.
Yeah. Talk with your friends about this, and talk with your friends about the different things that you hear on this podcast and on other podcasts, because really it's through that kind of community connection that we're going to make this difference. And those are some of the key points. If you go to savedemocracyinamerica.org, there is a tab at the top, how you can help. And the things that Dan lists there, they're things that you should just be doing. Talk with a friend about this and inform yourself. But go there, check this out. It's an important idea. SaveDemocracyInAmerica.org. Dan McMillan, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for coming back on the show, and thank you for being here on Facepalm America.
Well, bless you, Beowulf. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to put my ideas before our fellow Americans. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being with us here on Facepalm America. Thank you for listening. Share this episode with a friend. I think this is a particularly important one because it has some practical ideas that we should be circulating, and not just us on the left. Folks across the country need to hear this idea. Folks across the political spectrum, the idea of voter-owned elections. This is something that can benefit us all. We all, by and large, want the same basic positive things. And there are folks in power who would prefer not to do that because it doesn't benefit them as much. But there are more of us than there are of them. And so spread the idea around. Spread this episode around. Spread some of our other episodes around, too, because I think there's some good ideas there, too. I want to thank both Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine, who are the producers of Facepalm America. Again, call or message 202-656-6271 if you would like to connect with us. And until next time, enjoy the day.